In today's fast-paced world, there are places that don't just preserve history, they seem to have escaped time altogether. While the rest of America embraced the modern world, building highways, skyscrapers, smartphones, and smart cities, these towns took a very different path. Places where horses still outnumber cars, where the internet fades into silence the moment you arrive, where buildings haven't changed in generations, and daily life still follows rhythms that disappeared almost everywhere else. At first glance, they might look like movie sets or carefully designed tourist attractions, but they're not. These are real American towns where modern life somehow slowed down, stopped, or simply never caught up. In today's video, we're counting down 10 U.S. towns where time never moved, from a community that banned cars more than a century ago and never looked back, to an island slowly disappearing beneath the water, to a town so empty that a single resident became the mayor, bartender, librarian, and just about everything else. Some of these places are breathtaking, some are unsettling, and a few are almost impossible to believe. Before we begin, let us know in the comments, could you live in a town where time seems to stand still? And if you enjoy uncovering fascinating places and hidden stories like these, don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss an adventure. Without further ado, let the countdown begin. 10. Abilene, Kansas. Sitting on the wide-open plains of central Kansas, Abilene was once one of the most famous cattle towns in America. In the late 1800s, thousands of longhorn cattle thundered into town at the end of the Chisholm Trail, bringing with them cowboys, merchants, gamblers, and a reputation for frontier lawlessness. Unlike many historic towns that replaced their past with modern skylines, Abilene chose to preserve it. Today, over 6,000 people call the town home, and much of its historic downtown still reflects the character that made it famous more than a century ago. Brick storefronts, vintage hotels, and restored landmarks line the streets, while horse-drawn wagon rides and museums keep the spirit of the Old West alive. Visitors can even walk the same streets once patrolled by legendary lawman Wild Bill Hickok, who briefly served as the town's marshal during its cattle-driving days. Life in Abilene is steady and unhurried. Agriculture, tourism, and small businesses remain at the heart of the local economy, and there's little pressure to chase the fast pace of bigger cities. Instead, the town embraces its history, treating it as something to be lived rather than simply remembered. In Abilene, the Wild West isn't just a chapter in a history book. It's still woven into everyday life, making this one of the few places in America where the frontier never truly rode off into the sunset. 9. Mackinac Island, Michigan. Crossing onto Mackinac Island feels less like arriving at a destination and more like stepping into another century. Sitting between Michigan's upper and lower peninsulas, this small island has preserved a way of life that's almost impossible to find in modern America. The reason is surprisingly simple. Since 1898, most motor vehicles have been banned, a rule that remains in place today. Instead of traffic lights and engine noise, the streets are filled with bicycles, horse-drawn carriages, and the steady clip-clop of horses echoing through the historic downtown. Home to fewer than 600 year-round residents, Mackinac Island is lined with beautifully preserved Victorian buildings, grand hotels, charming cottages, and family-owned shops that have changed very little over the generations. Even deliveries are often made by horse and wagon, while visitors explore the island at a pace that feels refreshingly slow. Tourism is the island's lifeblood, but despite welcoming thousands of visitors each year, Mackinac has resisted the pressure to modernize in the ways most destinations have. There are no fast-moving highways cutting through the landscape, no endless lines of cars, and no rush to get anywhere. On Mackinac Island, time isn't measured by traffic or deadlines. It's measured by the rhythm of horse hooves, the ringing of bicycle bells, and traditions that have endured for well over a century. In a country that never stops moving, this island quietly proves that sometimes the old ways are worth keeping. Number 8. Saugatuck, Michigan. Tucked along the shores of Lake Michigan, Saugatuck is the kind of place that feels like it belongs in an old postcard. Home to fewer than 900 year-round residents, This charming waterfront town has spent generations preserving the character that first made it a popular getaway in the late 1800s. Instead of towering hotels and crowded city streets, Saugatuck is filled with tree-lined avenues, historic homes, independent boutiques, art galleries, and cozy cafes overlooking the harbor. Fishing boats still share the water with sailboats, while visitors stroll through downtown at a pace that feels refreshingly unhurried. Art has long been part of the town's identity. For more than a century, painters, sculptors, and writers have been drawn here by the peaceful scenery, helping Saugatuck earn a reputation as one of the Midwest's most beloved arts communities. That creative spirit still defines the town today, with local galleries and studios tucked inside beautifully preserved historic buildings. Life here revolves around the seasons rather than the clock. Summer brings boaters, beachgoers, and weekend visitors, while the quieter months return the town to its laid-back rhythm. Despite welcoming tourists from across the country, Saugatuck has resisted becoming another overdeveloped resort. In Saugatuck, the past hasn't been replaced, it has simply been cared for. And in a world that's always chasing what's next, this little corner of Michigan reminds us that sometimes the best places are the ones that never felt the need to change. Number 7. Monowi, Nebraska. The American town with a population of 1. In most towns, it takes a mayor, a city council, and a team of public officials to keep things running. In Monowi, Nebraska, one woman does it all. Once home to around 150 residents during its railroad days, Monowi slowly emptied as businesses closed and younger generations moved away. Today, just one permanent resident remains, Elsie Eiler. Because Monowi is still an officially incorporated village, it must follow state laws like any other municipality. That means Elsie serves as the mayor, clerk, treasurer, and librarian. Every year, she files the town's paperwork, renews its liquor license, approves its road plan, and even votes for herself in the annual mayoral election. The town itself consists of just 3 active buildings: Elsie's home, the Monowi Tavern, and Rudy's Library, a small building she created in memory of her late husband, housing his personal collection of roughly 5,000 books and magazines. Visitors still stop by the tavern for a burger, a cold drink, and the chance to experience one of America's most unusual communities. In Monowi, the future didn't just slow down, it left, leaving one remarkable woman to keep an entire town alive. Number 6. Tangier Island, Virginia. Sitting in the middle of Virginia's Chesapeake Bay, Tangier Island is one of the most isolated communities in America. With only a few hundred residents, there's no bridge connecting it to the mainland. The only way to get here is by boat or a small aircraft, and that isolation has helped preserve a way of life that has changed very little over the generations. Many of the island's families trace their roots back hundreds of years, and locals still speak with a distinctive dialect that has fascinated linguists for decades. Their unique accent, shaped by centuries of separation from the mainland, is unlike almost anything else you'll hear in the United States. Life on Tangier revolves around the water. Crabbing and fishing remain the backbone of the local economy, while golf carts, bicycles, and small utility vehicles are far more common than regular cars. There are no shopping malls, no traffic jams, and very little nightlife. Here, the tides set the pace of daily life, not the clock. Tangier Island isn't just preserving the past, it's racing against time to keep that past from disappearing forever. Number 5. Havana, Illinois. Resting along the banks of the Illinois River, Havana, Illinois has the kind of quiet charm that's becoming harder to find. Today, the town is home to just under 3,000 residents, down from more than 3,300 in 2010. While its population has gradually declined, its character has remained largely the same. Historic storefronts still line the downtown streets, family-owned businesses outnumber national chains, and life moves at a pace that feels decades removed from the rush of modern America. Founded in the 1820s, Havana grew into a thriving river town, thanks to steamboat trade, farming, and nearby industries. While many communities transformed into bustling cities, Havana changed very little. Much of its historic downtown remains intact, and the river continues to shape everyday life just as it has for generations. Fishing, boating, and outdoor recreation are still a big part of the local culture, while longtime residents gather in the same cafes, diners, and small businesses that have served the community for years. Traffic is light, neighbors know one another, and the fast-paced lifestyle found in larger cities feels a world away. Number 4. Bisbee, Arizona. Tucked into the Mule Mountains just a few miles from the Mexican border, Bisbee, Arizona was once one of the richest copper mining towns in America. At its peak, thousands of miners poured into the hills, and the town buzzed with industry. But when the mines shut down in the 1970s, many expected Bisbee to become another forgotten ghost town. Instead, something unusual happened. Artists, musicians, writers, and free spirits began moving into the old miners' cottages, transforming the town without erasing its history. Today, around 5,000 people call Bisbee home, and it feels like a place where the past and the present learn to coexist. Steep streets wind through colorful hillside neighborhoods. Historic brick buildings house art galleries and cafes, and vintage signs still hang above businesses that have been around for decades. You'll find antique shops next to tattoo studios, old saloons beside local art galleries, and staircases connecting neighborhoods where most towns would have built roads. Life here moves at its own pace. Tourism, local businesses, and the arts now drive the economy, while the town's quirky personality continues to attract visitors for something different. Number 3. Greenbank, West Virginia. In an age and time where we're surrounded by smartphones, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and constant notifications, Greenbank, West Virginia feels like a place the digital revolution forgot. Tucked away in the Appalachian Mountains, this quiet town is home to the Greenbank Telescope, the world's largest fully steerable radio telescope. Because the telescope is designed to detect incredibly faint radio signals from deep space, even everyday electronic devices can interfere with its work. That's why Greenbank lies within the National Radio Quiet Zone, a protected area where cell phone towers are virtually non-existent and radio transmissions are tightly controlled. For both residents and visitors, the difference is immediate. Mobile service is extremely limited, Wi-Fi access is restricted in sensitive areas, and the constant buzz of modern technology is replaced by the silence most people haven't experienced in years. Ironically, this isn't a town that's behind the times. It's home to some of the world's most advanced astronomical research. Scientists from across the globe come here to study distant galaxies and mysterious cosmic signals, while everyday life moves at a slower, almost forgotten pace. Number 2. Silverton, Colorado. Silverton, Colorado sits more than 9,300 feet above sea level, tucked deep within the rugged San Juan Mountains. Reaching it isn't exactly convenient. The town is connected by the scenic Million Dollar Highway, but heavy snowfall can make the journey difficult for months at a time, leaving Silverton feeling remarkably isolated. Home to fewer than 700 residents, Silverton looks much the same as it did during Colorado's silver mining boom in the late 1800s. Its main street is lined with preserved brick buildings, wooden storefronts, historic hotels, and old saloons that have stood for well over a century. Unlike many former mining towns, Silverton never reinvented itself into a sprawling mountain resort. Instead, it simply held on to its past. Today, the town comes alive during the warmer months as visitors arrive aboard the historic Durango and Silverton narrow-gauge railroad or explore the surrounding mountains. But once winter settles in, life slows to a crawl. Roads become challenging, the population grows quieter, and the mountains begin calling the shots. Number 1. Mineral Point, Wisconsin. Mineral Point, Wisconsin isn't frozen in time because it was forgotten. It's frozen in time because so much of its past was carefully preserved. Founded in the 1820s during Wisconsin's lead mining boom, Mineral Point quickly became one of the region's earliest settlements, attracting skilled Cornish miners who left a lasting mark on the town's architecture, traditions, and even its food. When the mines eventually declined, many communities demolished their old buildings and started over. Mineral Point took a different path. Today, more than 2,500 people call the town home, and its historic downtown still looks remarkably similar to what visitors would have seen more than a century ago. Stone cottages, brick storefronts, narrow streets, locally owned cafes, art galleries, and family-run shops give the town a charm that's become increasingly rare in modern America. Life here moves at a comfortable pace. You'll find very few national chains, little traffic, and a community where neighbors still know one another by name. Tourism, small businesses, and local artisans keep the economy going, while the town's rich history continues to draw visitors from across the country. These towns prove that not every place is racing toward the future. Whether by choice, circumstance, or geography, each has held on to a piece of America's past that continues to captivate everyone who visits. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more fascinating stories about hidden places, forgotten history, and remarkable destinations in America. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.